The end of 2024 is nearing, and many investors are excited for a potentially bullish Q4 for BTC. So let's look at the data to see how optimistic we should be. Today, we're going to be looking at whether we can expect a very positive Q4 for BTC, and where better to start than the monthly returns heat map chart we have here on BitcoinMagazinePro.com. And as you can see, just looking at the last 3 months, the last decade or so, Q4 has historically been a very bullish period for BTC. Looking at 2023, we had 3 consecutive green months. 2021 and 2022 weren't as great, but 2020 was amazing. 2017, 16, 15, all very positive months for the BTC price action. Now, whether you buy into the seasonality of the BTC price action, there's no denying that Q4 has historically been one of Bitcoin's stronger periods. And if we just go to the chart here, what we can actually see is I've overlaid the previous 9 Q4s onto the current Bitcoin price action, so maybe we can get a little bit of an insight onto potentially how Bitcoin could react if we had to follow those forecasts that we've historically seen. So what we can see here, it looks a little bit messy. I've tried to color them from a rainbow. So the most recent Q4 that we've got here is this red one from 2023, and then orange, yellow, green, etc. So what we can see here is we've had quite a lot of differences in Q4 performance for BTC. What we can see is a majority of them are actually positive, but if we look at something like we saw in 2018 here, we could see a Bitcoin price as low as $33,000, which obviously wouldn't be ideal. But what we can actually see is 3 of them, so 3 of the last 9 have actually been pretty sideways, pretty stagnant, ending Bitcoin's price around $60,000 to even as low as $55,000. But we do obviously have quite a few very positive periods for BTC. So if we look to the most positive period here, which was in 2017, it could lead to a Bitcoin price of $240,000 before the end of the year, which would be pretty nice. I think everyone would agree with that. But most of them are actually ending up around this region here, around 93, 94, up to about $110,000, which would be obviously amazing for BTC. How realistic either of those may be is up for debate. But what we can see is any period where we have seen a little bit of a negative period in price action, such as this one here, 2018, and then the 2022 price action here, is that they were both occurring at the very tail end of bear cycles. So one of the worst performing ones was here, which would see Bitcoin around $53,000. And then the worst would be like we saw back here, if I just move my head, which would see Bitcoin, like we said, around $33,000, $34,000. But majority of the time, we do actually see quite a positive period of price action for Bitcoin, even if it does end up in a little bit of retracement before the year end, like we could see in our all-time high in that 2021-2022 cycle, where it'd see Bitcoin's price rise to about $120,000 before retracing about $10,000. And then even in this 2017 cycle, where Bitcoin would run up to $240,000, overlaying these fractals onto current price action, it then gives a retracement around $80,000 back to around $160,000. So really, given the fact that there's obviously some observable trend, given the fact that majority of these fractals are bullish, it's not like we can say for certain that Bitcoin is going to have a very positive end of the year. Obviously, the fact that we have a lot of macroeconomic factors and Bitcoin fundamentals and on-chain data pointing towards some bullish price action going forward, really, anyone who says they know for a certain what's going to happen in the Bitcoin price action is probably just trying to sell you something. They definitely don't know for certain what is coming to happen next. As we can see, this is a pretty even spread all the way from $180,000 all the way down to about $40,000. So really, you can take your pick here. I think just a very neutral prediction, if we just look right bang in the middle of all of these, would give us a price action of probably somewhere around $85,000 to $75,000, but that would of course result in us making a new all-time high. So maybe if Bitcoin does show some strength over the coming weeks, then we can expect an even more bullish November and December for BTC. Also, if you haven't already, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to ensure you're receiving all of our content as soon as it's released. And make sure to check out all the resources we've discussed today, as well as the many more that are available on BitcoinMagazinePro.com, your number one source for Bitcoin analysis. I got there in the end. So just to summarize, Q4, or the final 3 months of the year, have historically been very positive for Bitcoin. And we can see by overlaying the price action of the previous 9 years onto the forecasts of our current BTC price action, that we could potentially see price rallying to around $240,000 before 2025. Now, this may be a little bit overly bullish, but who knows? There was, however, one instance in which Bitcoin had a noticeable decrease in price action, and this occurred when Bitcoin was at the tail end of a bear cycle in 2018, which would, if we were to see that worst case scenario, see the Bitcoin price drop to around $34,000. What we did see is around a third of these fractals did just result in fairly standard sideways price section. And if we were to take somewhere in the middle of all of those, we'd see a Bitcoin price of around $75,000 to $85,000 before the year end. So there is some reason to be optimistic, even though predicting the future is impossible. But this would result in Bitcoin making a new all-time high. So there is obviously going to be quite a bit of resistance above the current price. If you like this video, then please visit bitcoinmagazinepro.com, where our analytics help you to cut through the noise to make informed, data-driven decisions about Bitcoin. With over 150 live charts, personalized indicator alerts, in-depth crypto industry reports, API access, and more, all for a fraction of the standard industry price. And let me know what your thoughts are on Bitcoin having a potentially very bullish Q4 and year-end of 2024. Or do you think it's going to be the opposite and you think we're maybe going to have a little bit more of a bearish end to the year? As I said, let me know in the comments below and on social media. I look forward to reading and replying to them. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.